Welcome. All right, so I'm going to get straight into it. So there's 4 reasons why you keep regaining, first of all, losing and regaining the same 10 pounds every single year. And you just continue this pattern for your whole life, right? And you wonder why losing weight and getting lean and showing your abs for the first time, maybe in the first time in your life, or getting back to the shape you used to be in high school was so hard. So I'm going to share with you 4 reasons why this happens and then how to stop this pattern from happening, okay? Because it's very, very common. In fact, most of the people that reach out to me for help, most of the clients that I coach, they come from this background where they've been in this cycle of putting on the same 10 pounds and then losing the same 10 pounds, then putting it back on, losing it again. And before they come to me, they can't figure out why this is happening. So in this video, I'm going to share with you, I've got my notes here. I actually made some notes because there's a lot to cover, okay? So enough about the clients, let's talk about you. So why does this happen, first of all? Like, what's the first reason? And I put here, you're following the wrong strategy, right? So let me just dumb this down in the simplest English. So the whole calories in, calories out theory is what most people follow who are losing the same 10 pounds and regaining it. Let me explain. So when you follow this calories in, calories out theory, what you're actually doing is you're ruining your metabolism if that's all you're doing. So let me further explain. So let's say you're burning 2,000 calories a day, right? And the calorie experts tell you that you need to go in a caloric deficit of 500 calories, right? So you lower your calories to 500, minus 500. So now you're eating 1,500 calories a day, okay? And you believe that your body is going to keep burning 2,000 calories, right? So you're going to be in a deficit of 500 calories over the course of 7 days. That's 3,500 calories, and you would have burned 1 pound of fat in that 1 week, right? And you're going to extrapolate this out throughout the months, and you think it's going to continue. Well, actually, what happens is your body doesn't keep burning more calories than it's consuming. So your body's not going to keep burning 2,000 calories if you're only eating 1,500, right? So your body is smarter than you. This is what people don't understand. Your body slows down the rate at which it burns calories to conserve energy, because that's what your body's primary goal is. It's a survival mechanism. So your intake is still 1,500 calories, but you've lowered your metabolism has slowed down. So this is how people regain the weight, because they're eating more than they're burning, right? So it's funny how that works. So your body goes into starvation mode, right? After this usually happens after like a month or 5 weeks, right? It usually happens around that time. And if you're not doing what they call in the macro space a refeed, which is basically where you have a day where you just eat a shit ton of calories to trick your body into thinking that it has more than enough. So that does work, but that's not my philosophy anymore, right? Because that's actually, we'll talk about that in a second, but stay with me here. So you're eating 1,500 calories, but you're now burning, let's say you're burning 1,200, right? Your body's conserving the energy. So now you're actually eating more than what your body is burning, and you're putting on the weight. And you wonder why, because you're eating less, but you're still putting on weight. And this is how it happens, right? So that's number one. Okay, so let me talk more about this. So metabolic effect of food, right? You have to understand what this is, because not all food is created equal. So 100 calories of donuts is not the same as 100 calories of broccoli. But if you're following the macros, the calories thing, then you're going to just assume that it is, right? Even though obviously it's not. So when you ingest these different foods, they have a different metabolic response in the body, okay? And the calories argument, the calories in, calories out, doesn't actually talk about hormones. And hormones is actually the driver of weight gain and weight loss, right? So if your hormones are out of balance, you're going to start gaining weight. So this is the stuff I focus on, is nutrient-dense food. When you start eating nutrient-dense food, your hormones start balancing out, and then the weight starts dropping off, all right? So number 2 is you're super stressed. So one of the main reasons that people keep losing and regaining the same 10 pounds is because they're super stressed. They're just constantly stressed with work and also around food, and they just don't know how to rest, right? So they go and work out, but they're literally killing themselves in the gym doing most of the workouts that people do to try and get in shape it's like survive the workout and hope that you don't die, right? So literally like CrossFit, AMRAP, as many reps as possible, WOD, workout of the day. All of this stuff is just like basically killing yourself for an hour to, try and get the results. And that philosophy is crazy because they don't teach anything about rest, right? And recovery is super important because when you understand the nervous system, you understand that you've got the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, right? So the sympathetic is fight or flight. Like if I'm going to hunt, my body's pumping adrenaline, like I'm ready to go and work out, right? But most people stay in that state for their whole day. And so sympathetic state, your body's not relaxed, your body's not resting. And so your body's like in a state of alert the whole time, so it can't relax and it can't lose the weight, right? So we need to learn how to de-stress, okay? How to get into the parasympathetic state where you actually, your body's calm and your vagus nerve is firing and then everything is relaxed. And that's when you can start losing weight because the hormones start balancing out, right? So there's not a lot of cortisol pumping when you're in a parasympathetic state because you're not stressed. But most people don't know how to relax. They don't know how to recover. So this is another reason why they keep regaining and they keep losing and regaining weight. Number 3, you have limiting beliefs, right? The limiting beliefs, and I wrote here, what did I write? I wrote, I have always been the chubby kid, the chubby guy, the chubby girl, right? This is a belief, like, oh, I've always been chubby. So who cares? Like, what? Is that a reason for you not to start losing weight and start getting lean and start getting in shape? Is that a reason? No, it's not a reason. So who cares if you've always been a chubby guy, a chubby girl? That doesn't matter, right? What matters is that you're actually working towards not being that person and changing your identity, which is what I talk about a lot, which no one talks about in my space, which is you need to change your identity, right? And how you change your identity is through daily habits. So how do you change what you do daily? Well, this is what I'm going to talk about. But first of all, you get coached. So for example, myself, if you go to healthmastery.net, you can go and watch the presentation that I've got there, and you can go and check out everything about what I do if you want help from me, but you need a coach, right? And that's another point I'm going to raise. But people have limiting beliefs. So do you think that it's possible for you? Because what happens is most people don't believe it's possible. And this is the problem. Like if you don't believe it's possible, why even start, right? Why even start doing something if you don't believe it's possible? And then so the next one we've got is, do you believe that you can change it, right? Like, do you think that you can change your situation? And this is a question that sounds very simple, but most people don't actually think they can change the situation. So that's another reason why, you're losing and regaining. You can come in. Losing and regaining the weight. Here's my mate. And so when I ask people, what do you think you're missing, right? Like, if you don't believe that it's possible, or if you've never got the result before, if you've never gotten lean, never gotten to see your abs, what is missing? What do you think is missing, okay? And then that's a good starting point for where you can start to figure out, okay, what's missing, right? And number 4, the last one is, you don't have a coach, okay? This is a big one, okay? Because most people are just doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. And that is, like Einstein said, the definition of insanity. Okay, doing the same things over and over again but expecting a different result. So how can we start getting different results? We've got to start doing different things, right? But most of us are just doing the same things and wishing for a different result. So what I put here is, most people think it's the diet, right? Oh, it's my diet. That's why I keep losing and regaining the same 10 pounds. It's my diet. Of course it is, my diet. But actually, what did I put here? Number 1, you don't know what you're doing. And number 2, you've got the wrong perspective, right? So these 2 things, number 1, these people that say this, they don't actually know what they're doing, right? And that's no fault of your own, right? Because there's so much crazy amounts of conflicting advice everywhere you turn, right? So you don't know who to trust, and that's just the fact of the internet, right? There's so much shit going on. There's so many people saying different things. There's people out there saying complete opposite to what I'm saying, and that's great. They can say that. They can talk all about the opposite, but I don't care about those people. What I care about is the people that are aligning with what I'm talking about, because this is my truth, right? This is what I know to be true from me and the people that I coach, okay? Because they're all getting results as a result of the message that I'm sharing with you right now, okay? So, first of all, you got to pick your coach wisely, okay? Because I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah, you don't know what you're doing, right? So, picking the coach is very important. Picking the right person for you, okay? So, if you don't know what you're doing, you need to find someone who does, obviously, right? But you also need to find someone who you resonate with and who you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I get that. Like, I'm starting to understand the perspective. And this is number 2, right? It's, you have the wrong perspective. Like your perspective, if you're the person who's losing the same 10 pounds and regaining the same 10 pounds, your perspective is, oh, it's the calories, it's the diet, right? That's how you're thinking about it. But actually, I would beg to differ based on my experience, based on my results for the last look at this. I'm effortlessly like this every day for the last 4.5 years. And in fact, this is more leaner now. So how can I be this lean, this ripped, and this healthy consistently? The smart people that, pay me to coach them, they understand that, for example, one of my clients paid me $5,000 for 1 week, 6 hours of training in the gym, just 6 hours. And he said, I know a master when I see one. I asked him, why'd you hire me? He said, I know a master when I see one. So, the smart people understand that if someone's, like Tony Robbins says it himself, he said, if someone's got the result for more than 1 year and they're consistently producing the result, they're not lucky. What they're doing something you're not. So the smart people are like, hey, that person, I want to pay them, I want to learn what they're doing because I need those results, right? And that's just the truth. There's no marketing there. That's just the truth of the situation. Like, I have a problem, this guy or girl has solved it and consistently solved it, he's got proof to show for it, I'm going to learn from them and solve the problem. Get their perspective, because clearly they're thinking about it different to how I'm thinking about it, and that's why they have the result and I don't, because their perspective is different. So that's really what you're paying for when you're paying for a coach, is you're paying for their perspective, because what you're thinking, how you're thinking right this second is not how they're thinking, which is why they have the results and you don't. That's literally it. Okay, that's coaching. It took me 4.5 years to figure that out. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for perspective. You're paying for someone's brain, how they think. Like, if you could think like Jeff Bezos, how much more money would you make in your business, right? So this is an example of what I'm talking about. If you could think like Elon Musk, how much more money could you make in your business? So it's the same concept applied to a different industry, right? So it's all about how you think. So this is what you're paying for. Like my clients, when they pay me, that's what they're paying for. They're paying for how I think about health, okay? And once they start implementing stuff I teach them, they start getting the results. And if you want similar results, you can go to healthmastery.net, or you can go to callwithaaron.net if you're ready to just book your call right now. And then you can get on the phone with me and we talk about where you are, where you want to be, what you tried before, what you're struggling with, and we'll map out a plan to help you overcome these challenges so you can start enjoying your health and not worry about, for example, not being around in 10 years because you're worried about getting a heart attack like your father, or whatever it is for you, right? There's so many different things that people are scared of. Usually when I talk to people, it's usually, like being around for your kids, having the energy to play with your kids, having all day energy, being productive as a result of having all day energy, all of these things, like having more libido, having a better sex life, or just being more attractive so you can attract a better partner, or whatever it is, training better, building more muscle, all of these things, right? So here's the thing, right? If you don't get a coach and you start and you continue this habit, this loop of, losing the same 10 pounds, regaining it, eventually you're going to quit, right? Because why would you keep doing this if you're not getting the results? This is what happens when you don't have a coach. You eventually quit and you give up hope. And see, the thing is, one of my clients, he said to me, the best thing that you give people, Aaron, is you're giving people hope. And I gave him hope because he came to me when he was crying and he had no hope. He tried everything. Well, usually when people say that, they haven't tried everything, but he had tried everything, right? He tried the calories in, calories out. He tried the smoothies, all that crap. And he didn't lose any weight consistently. And then he starts coming to me and now he's losing weight consistently, right? He's lost 20 pounds to date and he's kept it off, right? Which has never happened in his life. So this is what I'm talking about, is you need to understand that this is about longevity. It's not about losing weight once. Anyone can lose weight once, and this is the whole video, right? Like, you've lost weight once before. Anyone can do that. But how can you consistently keep it off, right? That's the secret. And that's what no one's talking about, because not many people know how to do that. And if they do, they're keeping the secrets to themselves. But I'm revealing all my secrets. And if you want more help, go to callwithaaron.net, go and book your free call, and then we'll get on the phone. We'll talk for about 45 minutes to an hour. Actually, you'll be doing most of the talking. I'll just be listening to you and asking you questions to probe and make you think about, like, your history in this problem, right? Like, what have you tried to lose weight and why hasn't it worked? Why did you think it didn't work? And we'll go into details of this, so it'll make you more aware of, you know, why what you've tried didn't work. And if you watch this video and you've watched it this far, then you'll know why some of the stuff you've tried hasn't worked, because you're doing the calories in, calories out stuff, and that's not sustainable, right? That's not my philosophy. That's not what I teach, because that's not what I do, right? Like, how have I stayed lean for 4.5 years and I don't count calories? How is that possible? Some people will say genetics. Well, actually, I'm the most lean person in my family, so you know, the people that say genetics, yes, genetics play a role, of course, obviously, right? But those people, every single person I've met in my life in the last 4.5 years who says, oh yeah, it's genetics, mark my words, every single one of those people is a hater, because they ain't lean. I've never met a person that's lean as me who says, yeah, it's just genetics. Like, I mean, I've met one actually, this Chinese guy, but I don't know his full story. But most people who are lean are doing things that the majority of people who are overweight are not doing, and that's just facts. So I'm letting you know that I don't count calories, right? And I don't think it's I don't believe in that, because there's a metabolic reaction to the food we eat, and it's mostly about hormones, not calories. However, calories do matter, of course, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, hope this was knowledgeable for you, well, valuable for you. And if you found this helpful and you want more help, you can go to healthmastery.net. You can watch the presentation if you want to watch more stuff about what I do, or you can go to callvarian.net and book your free call, and we can get on the phone. First come, first served, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, ciao.